Osun State, as we have it, is the only state that has continued to pay our doctors fraction of their salaries and deduct full PITA, which is the tax, while paying fraction salaries with issuance of non-complementary pay slips. Despite these harsh and unfavorable conditions, the state doctors have continued to render healthcare services to the people of Osun State. The association, following our 2 years of appeals, engagement, and discussions with the state government on the decadence in the health sector of Alleges State, hereby gives a 21 days ultimatum starting from today, Monday, August 28, and to lapse on September 17, 2017, to resolve the aforementioned recalcitrant injustice meted to us. That at the expiration of this ultimatum, we'll be left with no other option than to immediately withdraw our services to the states.
I want to even thank them for giving this time. So it's a time for us to actually meet and deliberate whatever it is. The round table is very important. We are going to meet on this round table and resolve and see where we can find a middle ground. We wouldn't want them to shut the health system now. It's essential to productivity. That we recognize, and we'll do everything in our power to ensure that we engage them in the shortest time.
Welcome back. Well, yes, indeed, focusing on the health situation in Osun State, we've got Dr. Tokunbo Olajimoke, who is the NMA chairman, Osun State chapter. Thank you for coming on this morning. Well, yeah, looking at, listening to you there, you did issue that ultimatum, but we've also did hear the government agents, government spokesperson speak there in the state, even though, yes, we did get across to them for a couple of days now, but they're not able to make it as we speak. But about this ultimatum, is it still on?
Well, thank you, Mr. Chamberlain. Well, as you rightly said, we've tried all means to engage the government positively. And as you can also attest to that, you called them. And it's unfortunate that they are not here to discuss the matters at hand because they are not set as a priority. You know, when you are not setting your priority right, it becomes a problem. In Osun State of today, health is not actually set as a priority. They believe so much on infrastructural development at the detriment of the welfare of the masses. We have served them 21 days ultimatum, and it's going to lapse on the 17th of September. The issues are there, and we have said that over and over again. It's not about doctors alone. It's about the whole healthcare system in Osun State. You know, when you have an healthcare system that is not actually well-grounded, there's no blueprint, no agenda. They are running what we call free health service, but really, that's on paper. When you get to the hospitals, there's nothing there. If you go there at the other hours of the night, patients are made to go and buy fuel.
Then how did you get to that point where patients will have to go and buy fuel and then you don't even have paracetamol? I think you said that. You don't even have paracetamol in a health institution such as yours for a state government. Is it the role of the state government to fund you?
Well, in the 1999 Constitution, it is said that the welfare, the health, and security of the populace is the responsibility of the government. And when any government is failing in that, it's assumed to have failed entirely. Osun State government of today has failed in provision of quality health care to the populace. Because, as I said before, there's no grounded plan, there's no blueprint on their health care. When you are defining a program and you are not involving the executors, it's bound to fail.
But that's a different thing entirely, because if you paint that with one brush, saying there is no plan whatsoever, is it that there is no plan, or you think that they are not involving the relevant people in the plan?
See, when you are drawing a plan and you are not involving
there is a plan.
The executors, it's bound to fail. Okay.
So there is a plan, but you want them to include other people.
And that is why it's failing.
Okay, but about when you say that the patients need to go buy fuel, do you know any patient who's going to buy fuel?
Plenty. I work in the teaching hospital in the States.
And fuel to do what?
For them to run the generator. And when they even run the generator, when they are seen eventually, they are only giving paracetamol and vitamin C's. And that's why in Osun State now you have the highest mortality so far. It's quite unprecedented. People are dying virtually every day.
Which figures?
Yeah, according to researches, we have the data there.
How did the hospital survive before this advent of the many problems, the myriad of problems that you have? How did hospitals survive?
Well, I must let you know that before, maybe in the last 8 years or 10 years, we had good quality healthcare package in the state. But in the last 6 years, things started decaying gradually because government was neglecting the health sector. As we have it now, no doctor wants to come and work in Osun State because you'll be forced to be taking 30% of your salary. After you have toiled through medical school, spent several years, gone for training elsewhere, you now come to Osun, you work for 24 hours, day and night, and when you are being paid 30% of your salary. And that's why there is a mass exodus of doctors.
But private hospitals are booming in Osun State.
Yeah, but when you are leaving the masses to the mercies of the hospitals, the charges are too alarming. How many of the populace can actually afford private